on behalf of my family, I want to thank all of you for supporting us this last couple weeks. To me, it was always my hero, my superhero without a cape. My whole life, he's taught me how to live, and he's done this through his words and through his actions. He's really been a leader ever since the word. Very few people ever truly come to know and understand themselves well enough to write down personal mission statements and write down core values, much less print them and share them with people. But that's just who he was. He knew who he was. He was confident and wanted to live by his own values. I'm going to share them today. His personal mission statement: to be a present and loving husband, father, sibling, and friend. For my words to align with my actions. To be a child of God and a spiritual leader who lays the right path for others. His core values were spirituality, truth, health, love, which is what I think most of y'all think of when you think of my dad, the love he shared. Respect, effort, and growth. A visionary wanted me to dream the way he dreamt. He never wanted me to restrict my vision and my growth. For many of y'all who knew my dad, you knew his favorite song and really the theme song of his life since he was 17 to 60 was Jukebox Hero. A song that talks about a boy who starts out with nothing, he's broke and in the rain, he can't even get into the show, but he has a vision, he has a dream, he has that clarity, he can see the best version of himself. He can see the fruits of making the right choices over and over and over again. He has that vision. You know, on paper, not a lot of people would think the youngest of six in a small town of Sunset, raised mostly by a strong single mom, Honey, would be able to fill the church and touch the hearts and lives of so many people across the nation. But I'm sure my dad did, because he always had high expectations for himself. My dad told me, there's more to accomplishment than just dreaming. You have to believe in yourself. You're great. He believed he was great. He wanted me to believe that I was great. One of his favorite quotes was from Pope Benedict XVI. And typical fashion, my dad liked to tweak it a little bit from second person to first person singular. So my dad's version of Pope Benedict XVI goes like this: while the world offers me comfort, I was not built for comfort. I was built for greatness. Be great. And that's how he lived. He never thought he wasn't capable of achieving his dream. He never wanted me to think I was incapable of my dream. Throughout my life, any accomplishment I made, he was always there. He was a fantastic dad, but he was there to celebrate me. I distinctly remember making my first hoop in basketball, and he lifted me up. He's like, "You're the first Dugal to ever score points in a basketball game." That's who he was. He wanted to empower you, lift you up. But he was also there for times I didn't succeed. He wanted to make sure I didn't lose that belief in myself, that I wouldn't give up on my vision. I would continue to dream big, no matter what. But dreams and confidence, it's still only two pieces of the puzzle. You gotta be a man of action. And this he taught me, and he just displayed so well. The way he lived, he was always a man of action. I remember when being young and he was studying the great leaders of the past. and we're sitting on camp and getting this impossibly big book on Teddy Roosevelt. And Teddy had a passage about the man in the arena, and it just struck a chord with my dad. The man in the arena. He would always tell me that. Don't worry about what people say. Just be the man in the arena. Experience defeat. Experience victory. It tastes better than the sidelines. He loved it so much, he eventually printed it out, framed it, and hung it next to his bed. So when he got out of bed every morning, it was the first thing he saw. What am I going to be in the arena fighting for today? He'd brush his teeth, get coffee, and read the Bible. So dream big, believe in yourself, and be a man of action. No fear. No fear was the next tenet he really wanted to instill in me from a young age. He was more precise with no fear than dream big. Dream big was all I wrote, a card, the letter, everything. But no fear, he would put it in places where I might be timid. When I first started playing youth football, I looked like I look now, but just smaller. I was 50 pounds maybe. So I was nervous of getting hit. And so I remember writing no fear on the inside of my helmet. So before I'd go in the game, I'd look down, that's what I'd see, no fear. Growing up, he had a phase where he listened to a lot of Zig Ziglar. I don't know if anybody here's familiar with Zig. But one of his sayings was, fear stands for two things. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. And that's who my dad was. He did not shy away with fear. He would rise up. He had a way of taking a negative emotion like fear and making it an opportunity for growth. He would always find a good spin on things, and it's part of what made him great. A few weekends ago, the weekend before the accident, he stood where I was standing, maybe that podium. You see, Mary Queen of Peace was about to open up reservations for its men's retreat, which still has spots available, I believe, so I highly recommend sign up. But his job for the men's retreat was to recruit, to be a shepherd and bring people to his men's retreat and get them closer to God. So he took that seriously. And so he stood up after 4 o'clock Mass on Saturday and gave his pitch. Then did the same thing Sunday, 9:30, and again at 11 a.m. And I was blessed to have a nice conversation with him before 6 o'clock. And he's talking to me, he's like, man, I don't know what happened at the 11 o'clock Mass, but I didn't get an applause. Nobody clapped for me. I was like, Dad, I don't think people clap in church. It's not a really typical thing. It's like, Nick, you don't understand. I give a great speech. They clap for me at 4, they clap for me at 9:30. I don't know what I did wrong. But, a lot of people might be dismayed by not getting the response you expect. Might start to question themselves, but not him. He was motivated. He was thinking about it, ready to go. 6 o'clock Mass, and getting applause, bringing people to faith to the best of his ability. And sure enough, he did. He did. And afterwards, he was so fired up. He was energized. Energy. Anytime I went to my dad with multiple choices, was unsure what to do, he'd always just say, Nick, which one gives you energy? What energizes you? Just do what brings you energy. And if you live by principles, if you're living the right choice, that will guide you correctly. I'll take you where you need to go. When his mom, Honey, moved, he told me she really wanted to bring dirt with her. to the new house for all the plants in the yard. And because St. Landry has this dirt, and anything can grow on it. Most fertile gardens, it's just like, we gotta have this dirt, gotta have this dirt in the garden. And it was special because anything could grow in it. You didn't even really have to be a good gardener, just any seed that landed would grow. And so if you just existed by, you would have beautiful flowers and trees, but you might also have weeds and stuff. But if you tended to it, you'd have an epically beautiful garden. You know, tell me, Nick, your mind is like that St. Landry Parish story. I already love this story. Your mind is like it. You need to be careful of the thoughts that you have. Tend to the good thoughts. Tend to the good beliefs. Pluck the bad ones. Sometimes you might not know if it's a weed or a flower, and that's okay. Life is messy. But once you know, just be a good gardener. Take care of your mind. I really feel he lived by those words and just started to see the genius that can come out of living 60 years of tending to your mind and making the right choices. He started to become a genius in generosity. I'll give you an example of this. You know, he was a financial advisor, so he likes a good return on investment. He's a fixer, likes to fix things, and he loved to help people. And one year at Christmas time, church looks kind of like it does now, it's packed. Everybody comes in for Christmas Mass. And my sister, called her the producer, was pregnant with one of her kids. But anyway, you know, she has one, she's carrying one, and so she arrives right before church starts. And of course it's packed and she can't get a place to sit. It's hard to get out of the house with kids. And so she sat on the floor of the cry room, and my dad saw that. He saw the problem by giving up his chair, but you know, he saved that in there. A few months go by, and Mary Queen of Peace has an auction to raise money for some of the great work to do here in the community. My dad goes to that, sees an item, just clicks in his head. One of the items is a pew. You can get any pew for Christmas Mass. And so he makes a generous donation to secure a pew, and he picks the largest pew. So after a year, Christmas Mass comes around, and he's excited because he has had this idea. And he fills up like half the pew because his family can take up the whole thing, but he saves all the rest. And you wait and wait and wait, and Mass is about to begin, the place is crowded. He goes into the back and finds a woman that really should have had a seat. But you know, with kids, and it's just hard. People who need the seats the most likely to be late. And escorts her to the front and gives her the reserved pew so she had a seat. It was gifts like that that really defined who my dad was. Meetings with homework, but I'm gonna break that and I'll give you all an assignment. And just to find somebody here that you preferably don't know and ask them for an example of my dad's generosity. And I bet you're gonna be amazed at the stories you hear. There's so many different stories, how he touched so many lives. That's really who he was. He just wanted, there's no point in his platform raising if others weren't raising up with him. There's no point in joy if you didn't share with others. And you lived by it. Lived by it. You know, I was going through his books, and he wrote he wanted to leave the world a better place than when he arrived. And I believe all of us here today can agree he achieved that mission. The world is a little bit better. We're all a little bit better. So I would have my dad, Steven, touch our lives. And with that, I end. Amen. Thank you.